Ken Trahan along with Lenny Vangilder. It's our first NBC Bank Weekend Review brought to you by First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and now in Florida in the Panhandle as well. Expanding, growing. First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. It was a very good opening weekend in college baseball for local teams. Nicholls State won 2 out of 3 against Stony Brook. Remember them? Southeastern sweeps Louisiana Tech at home, coming off of an NCAA year under Coach Reiser. Tulane goes to Pepperdine and nearly sweeps a team that nearly went to the College World Series a year ago, winning 2 out of 3. And LSU opens with a sweep over Kansas at home. So, Lenny, all in all, a really good weekend for the area teams.
It was. Certainly LSU did what you would expect them to do. Tulane, we didn't know what to expect there. First-year coach going on the road, and the thing you like there is they came within 2 outs of a sweep. And the way they won the 2 games is, outstanding. They were behind in both of those games, came back with a huge rally in the 8th and 9th inning on Saturday when they were down 5-0, came back 4 in the 8th, 5 in the 9th to win that game. So good times for Tulane coming back home, playing in Hammond Wednesday night, and they'll come back on campus to open their home season Friday night against San Francisco.
And they'd really struggled in recent years against West Coast teams, so this was a statement for them under a new coach.
It is. It's tough to play those teams. They play a different brand of baseball, and one of the things that you've got to like is the attitude that David Pierce has instilled upon this new team. And it's not unlike what Rick Jones did 21 years ago. When you've got some fresh blood in there, I think it's a good thing that you're able to instill some of that new attitude in there. The words you kept hearing from this team in preseason are, "We will win." David Pierce has been a coach for 14 years in college baseball, assistant as head coach. He's never missed the NCAA tournament. Let's see if that holds up. A long way to go before we get to that, though.
Where the LSU Tigers are concerned, when you think about what they were able to do, the pitching of Poche and Lang in particular, outstanding in their starts Friday and Saturday. Godfrey victimized by defense on Sunday, but LSU comes back in that game, hits their way to victory.
Yeah, and they won every kind of way. They had a little defense, they had some pitching, they had some hitting. You've got to like the way this team played, and that's what you expected them to play. It's interesting when these teams from the north come down and play, down south opening weekend. Some cases they haven't been on the field very much. This is sometimes maybe their first time on the field just because of cold weather. And LSU did what they're supposed to. They've got Boston College coming in this weekend. You would expect a similar type result, although again, baseball day to day, you play a lot more games. You never know when you're going to see those one-day slip-ups.
UNO starts 0-3, losing all 3 at South Alabama, traditional rival. Defense killed them on Friday night. They had a lead on Sunday, couldn't hold it. Pitching's got to be better, obviously. Looking for a bright spot, Ray Vite of Rummel. RBI Friday night, 2 hits each on Saturday and Sunday, including a triple.
Yeah, not the start you wanted if you're on May Street, but again, you're playing on the road. Not an easy place ever to play in Mobile. So what do we know about UNO at this point? Probably not a lot more. I think, as Mace told us on Thursday when we visited right before the opener, this team is better. How much it will be in terms of wins and losses remains to be seen.
Because the schedule is very tough. Can't sleep on Southeastern, NCAA team a year ago. Coach Reiser's got a very good program. They got Tulane this week. And Nicholls State winning 2 out of 3 from Stony Brook. You can't ignore that either. Justin Sinibaldi, another local product from Rummel, 6 shutout innings on Sunday.
Yeah, good start for the Colonels and for the Lions. Nicholls goes to LSU Wednesday night. Tulane goes to Southeastern. 2 games to watch.
College basketball, it was a good weekend as well. LSU and Tulane both winning. LSU whipping Tennessee on the road. Great rebound from the loss against Kentucky.
Yeah, they needed that. And really, what's interesting is LSU has been kind of inconsistent in SEC play, but they've played their 2 best games of the year on the road in key spots, at Florida, at Tennessee. They've got a tough one Tuesday night at A&M, need the same kind of effort.
And of course, Tulane with a great win over Cincinnati. When you look at how they did it, they played defense. They had the lead most of the way. Then it looked like it was going to get away in disappointing fashion, but a miracle shot basically by Jonathan Stark.
I was around for a lot of those games against Cincinnati in the Perry Clark, Bob Huggins days, and I remember 1996 and 1997, 2 absolute heartbreakers. Tulane had not won against Cincinnati going all the way back to 1991, and it's been a long time. So a good road win. It just goes to show you. Everybody said, oh, geez, Tulane's moving from Conference USA to the American. How many games can they really win? Well, they're 5-7 in the league. It just goes to show you when you're playing better teams night in, night out, the level of your play is going to increase as well.
UNO back in action, and on Monday night against Texas A&M Corpus Christi on the road. With regard to the Saints, NFL offseason continuing, combine coming up in a week. Free agency, Lenny, it's here. They've re-signed 3. They've still got 11 to deal with, 8 unrestricted.
Yeah, and the 800-pound gorilla, if you will, is Mark Ingram. How do you handle that situation? Remains to be seen at this point, and I think if you can do it for the right price, you do it. Otherwise, it doesn't happen and you move on because it's a deep position for this team.
New Orleans Pelicans, of course, they'll get their second half of their season back at it on Friday at Orlando, and they should have everybody back. It certainly looks like Holiday will come back, Anderson will be back, Davis will be back.
And if it is, it's a rarity, because only 12 out of 55 games this year has this team been 100% health-wise, and that's what it needs right now. As you head down the stretch, I really think with 29 games remaining, it may take going 20-9 the rest of the way to get to, would that be 47 wins, 47-35? That's what it might take to get that 8 spot in the West.
NBA All-Star Weekend in New York, obviously it's all about the entertainment, and I haven't seen the numbers, but I'm quite sure that Saturday Night Live at 40 dwarfed the NBA All-Star Game, because even though it's entertainment, you can't fool the fans. They know it's not the real deal.
It's not. It's, baseball's All-Star Game is different from basketball and football, and that it's a real game. And you and I talked earlier, this is really, since the Oscars went against the NCAA basketball championship, this is the first time that big sporting events and pop culture have gone head-to-head. Usually they've tried to schedule away from each other. You never schedule against the Super Bowl. You never schedule against the college football championship. Now they've stopped scheduling against the Final Four. What the numbers are going to be, it's going to be very interesting. But I think you're right, basketball probably lost Sunday night.
All right, big weekend for high school sports, a couple of state championships going on, track and field in Baton Rouge Indoor, and then state wrestling in Kenner with 90 schools. Brother Martin, a prohibitive favorite in Division I. All local schools that figure to continue to contend there.
The interesting thing to me about the wrestling championships, and you're intimately involved with this, is has it outgrown the Pontchartrain Center? Does it need to be at a larger facility?
No.
It's filled to the gills for this event.
As long as they're not turning people away, and,
right.
and they haven't done that.
Okay, so it's near that. It's near that point, and it's that kind of event that's right on the edge. But New Orleans, with the best wrestling programs in the state, really embraces this event.
Last but not least, our first NBC Bank Prep Showcase continues Thursday, live, SportsNOLA TV. Brother Martin, Holy Cross, an important game for the Crusaders in particular.
Right, and it'd be good. Holy Cross likely not headed to the playoffs, but they would like to finish with a win. They had a big win Friday night over Jesuit. Brother Martin getting a last-second win over Rummel on Friday night as well. It's it's one of those games. Brother Martin's a dangerous team in the 5A playoffs, just like their counterparts in the Catholic League, St. Aug. Not the type of team you want to have to face in the playoffs.
Yeah, Thursday on SportsNOLA.com and Friday live on WHNO TV, Channel 20 at 4:30. It's going to be a great week of sports, and we encourage you to be part of it through SportsNOLA.com. Lenny, it's always a pleasure. Have a great week. Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras. Like the studio look here. We'll be back in our regular digs for our update coming your way later this week.
Sounds like a winner. That is our first NBC Bank preview or review and preview combined, because we talked about it all. And of course, you can go to First NBC Bank with 35 locations throughout the greater New Orleans area and into the Florida Panhandle. First NBC Bank is a proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com, and we appreciate them. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Happy Mardi Gras. Have a great week. Be safe, and God bless you.